Alright guys, Southampton have just beaten Brentford by 4 goals to 1 and I thought Southampton played really well. They were good in attack and also good in defence. They were very limited in the amount of shots they allowed Brentford to have. In fact, I think other than two efforts from Ginelt in the first half, I don't think Brentford had any shots whatsoever. Um, Southampton were really strong at the back, and they got an early goal through a cross from corner from James Ward-Prowse. Bednarek managed to flick it on, and with the way that the cross was put in, it had to be spot on with how the players were set up in the box, and that is how good James Ward-Prowse is at crossing. His delivery is just pinpoint, and I genuinely think that there's no doubt in the fact that he is the best deliverer of a ball in the Premier League from a dead ball situation right now. I think a lot of people like Trent Alexander-Arnold, and don't get me wrong, Alexander-Arnold is a great crosser of the ball, but I think in terms of when it's a dead ball, free kick or corner, I think Ward-Prowse is a level above Alexander-Arnold. To be honest, his delivery is always first class. Yeah, Bednarek opened the scoring, and Brentford did equalise from a quite superb goal from Ginelt. Crossed in by Mbirma, I think it was, and Ginelt opened his body up and watched it come across all the way from his body, and sort of just open his, like swing his left foot at it, and he caught it perfectly and put it right into the corner. Brilliant strike. One of the, I think at the end of the season that could potentially be in like a goal of the season reel. That one, it was a brilliant volley. And that made it 1-1, but Southampton did manage to take the lead again before half time. Coming from an own goal, actually, from the goalkeeper for Brentford, the backup goalkeeper, Fernandez. It came from a Ward-Prowse corner once again. No one managed to get their head on it, but it fell to Ibrahim Diallo on the edge of the box. He managed to make decent contact of it, and he actually hit the post, and it bounced off the post, hit the goalkeeper's arm and went in. I remember a game, God, it must be about 4 or 5 years ago now. It was when Brighton were in the Championship, and I think they might have been playing Norwich. And I remember, I think it might have been Stockdale in goal for Brighton. Conceded 2 own goals like that in the same game. And I just couldn't believe it watching it. I think they both came from shots from, might have been Alex Pritchard for Norwich, I can't remember. But yeah, it's just unlucky. There's nothing the goalkeeper could really do about it, and that put Southampton in front at half time. And they just added 2 more in the second half. The first coming from Armando Broja, who I thought was absolutely brilliant all game, causing Brentford's defence all sorts of problems. And the goal was a brilliant counter-attack from Southampton. It was right at the start of the second half. Brentford were putting a bit of pressure on, and they managed to win the ball back, and Oriol Romeo performed a superb pass to manage to curl it around Pontus Jansson. And also the run was brilliantly timed from Broja, and he still had a lot to do when he did get the ball from about 45 yards away from goal. He managed to take a good first touch and keep it under control, and managed to squeeze it past the Brentford goalkeeper. And the final goal came from Che Adams just after coming off the bench. Brentford were trying to go forward, and Southampton won the ball around about the halfway line and just booted it up the field, and just bounced over Pontus Jansson, who didn't have the greatest game, if we're being honest, and fell to Che Adams. He took a touch and managed to flick it over the oncoming Fernandez, and it sort of trickled over the line, and that made it 4-1 and finished the game for Southampton, won all 3 points. Well, that didn't win all 3 points, but it definitely secured them. I thought Brentford were disappointing though. I'm not sure if it's going to happen for Ivan Toney in the Premier League. And I mean, he must be a quality player, obviously, if he did break the Championship goal scoring record last season. But it just doesn't seem to be happening for him. I mean, to be fair, it is his first 6 months in a considerably higher level league than the Championship. So, you have got to give him some time. But he doesn't seem to be doing it in games. A lot of people say it's because he's playing too deep and he's not getting forward enough. And that's a fair point. But even when he does get forward, he doesn't really look like causing trouble, to be honest, or he didn't tonight at least anyway. I don't understand why Wissa doesn't start more for Brentford, because he seems to get more goals than Toney and Mbeumo, although Mbeumo did just score a hat-trick in the Cup at the weekend. But I don't know why he doesn't start, because he seems to be playing better when he is on the pitch than both Toney and Mbeumo. Yeah, but Southampton were absolutely brilliant in both defence and attack. Lianco, centre-back, had a great game. I quite like watching Lianco because any sort of defensive contribution he makes, he celebrates it like he's just scored the winner in the Champions League final. Which I quite like, to be honest. If anything, you like to see players have passion for the game. Fraser Forster made a couple of good saves in the second half. A standout one being from Mbeumo having a chance from close range, and Forster managed to make himself big enough to block it with his knee. So he made a couple of decent saves during the game. Brozier was just causing problems all game. Romeo and Ward-Prowse just bossed it in central midfield. Yeah, it was all-round brilliant performance from Southampton. No weak links whatsoever in the team. They looked a level above Brentford today, to be honest. I don't think Brentford are going to have any problems with relegation. I've seen a few people comparing them to Huddersfield, like how a few years ago Huddersfield, they started the season really well in 2017, had some really good results. They beat Palace away at Selhurst Park 3-0 on the opening day of the season. They beat Man United in October. They had some brilliant results. But I think there's a lot more quality in this Brentford team, and also they are missing a couple of key players. Rico Henry's not playing at wing back for them at the moment. He's a big miss, and also obviously David Raya in goal is a bit better than Fernandes, if we're being honest, as well. And also the fact that they haven't got Rico Henry also means that Sergi Canos is having to play on the other side, whereas I think he's more suited to playing on the right wing back role rather than the left wing back. But yeah, I don't think Brentford are going to be in any trouble in terms of relegation. I think if you'd have offered them 14th place finish at the end of the season, they'd have taken it. As long as you survive in your first season in the Premier League, it doesn't really matter. That's got to be the main objective, really, I suppose. But yes, Southampton did play really well today. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.